consent calendar as printed.
Thank you. A motion by Mr. Pollard. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion by, again, Mr. Pollard, second by Mr. McGee. Any further discussion on the consent calendar? All right, would you, would the clerk call the roll, please?
Pollard?
Yes.
McGee?
Yes.
Allgood?
Yes.
Wagner?
Yes.
Hopper?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
All right, the consent calendar has been passed unanimously by the Caldwell City Council, and those items will be moved forward. Under old business, there's an action item, a public hearing, quasi-judicial case number APP 1906, a request by Tom Mortensen to appeal the Planning and Zoning Director's interpretation of the city code. This has been continued forever and forever and forever. I really think it's time that we just call an end to this. I would suggest, if the council sees fit, to deny the request to continue it to a regular city council meeting and just call it to an end.
Mr. Mayor, I make that motion.
Thank you. A motion by Mr. Hopper. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Carlson. Again, to deny the request to continue this item, which would bring it to an end. Any further discussion? All in favor, please. Excuse me, would the clerk call the roll, please?
Yes. Hopper?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Pollard?
Yes.
McGee?
Yes.
Allgood?
Yes.
Wagner? Wagner?
No, he's on.
Mr. Wagner, can you hear us? Okay. Anyway, we had 5 of the 6 council members vote affirmative, so the motion passes by a majority. That item will not be continued and therefore is denied. The next item under old business is an action continued from February 18th of 2020. This is a quasi-judicial public hearing. It's been requested by the applicant to continue to the regularly scheduled city council meeting on May 18th, 2020.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make that motion.
Is that Mr. Allgood?
Carlson?
Oh, Mr. Carlson, okay. A motion by Mr. Carlson. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. There's a motion by Mr. Carlson, second by Mr. Allgood to continue item number 2 under old business to a time and date certain, which would be the regular scheduled city council meeting of May 18th, 2020. Would the clerk call the roll, please?
Paulson?
Yes.
Pollard?
Yes.
McGee?
Yes.
Allgood?
Yes.
Wagner?
He dropped off, so it looks like he's probably trying to get back on, just unlocking him so he can get back.
Okay. Hopper?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have the city council passes with 5 votes to continue item number 2 to a time and date certain, which would be May 18th, 2020. Action item number 3 has also been requested to be continued to a time and date certain, which would be the same May 18th, 2020. This is to consider bill number 54, ordinance number 3246. Is there a motion to continue that item as well?
So moved.
Thank you. Motion by Mr. McGee. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Carlson. Any further discussion? Will the clerk call the roll, please?
McGee?
Yes.
Allgood?
Yes.
Wagner?
Yes. I'm back.
Welcome back.
Hopper?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Pollard?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Item number 3 under old business has also been continued to May 18th, 2020 at 7 p.m. in these chambers. That moves us to the new business item, which is an action item. This is to consider bill number 16, ordinance number 3273A. This is also authorizing the mayor pursuant to Idaho Code 5304 and 5606 to implement by appropriate order any measures at his discretion and until 9 p.m. on May 18th, 2020, that are recommended by public health agencies to prevent the spread of COVID-19. This is brought forward this evening with a request to waive the rules and pass it on its first reading by title only, and to approve the summary for publication. Again, this is just a request to continue the ordinance, as we have asked you to in the past, to May 18th. And
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Pollard.
I move that we waive the three reading process and consider bill number 16, ordinance number 3273A on its first reading by title only.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Mr. Pollard, second by Mr. Allgood, to waive the three reading process, consider bill number 16, ordinance number 3273A on its first reading by title only. Will the clerk call the roll, please?
Pollard,
Yes.
McGee,
Yes.
Allgood,
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Paulson.
Yes. And also yes too.
Okay. All right, the rules have been suspended. You have the bill before you?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Pollard.
I will sponsor bill number 16, ordinance number 3273A. Move first passage by title only and approve the summary for publication.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Mr. Pollard, second by Mr. Allgood, to sponsor bill number 16, ordinance number 3273A, move for its passage on its first reading by title only, and to approve the summary for publication. Will the clerk call the roll, please?
Pollard,
Yes.
McGee,
Yes.
Allgood,
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Paulson.
Yes.
Thank you. Bill number 16, ordinance number 3273A has been passed unanimously by the Caldwell City Council, and the summary for publication. Thank you very much. That moves us then to item number 2. This is to consider resolution number 11020, authorizing the execution of the development agreement, declaration of covenants, and public improvements exhibit with St. Luke's Regional Medical Center Limited and Mall Ventures Alquist North Ranch LLC. This is something, as you know, we've been working with on the property north of Flying J. It's that 120 acres, give or take, that we have been working with, and both council and urban renewal have authorized participation with construction of roads and so forth. I know Mr. Wardle is here, representing Mall Ventures Alquist, and I assume also St. Luke's Regional. And then we also have, I think, Marion Erickson on the phone with us tonight. Is that correct? First, Marion, any comments you would like to make regarding this development agreement? And then, Mr. Wardle, we will go to you.
Okay. I spoke with Mark Hilty this afternoon, and he has reviewed those documents and doesn't have any issues with them. And he was very positive that Florida will give a good kind of outline and basis for what we're doing here. I need it. Well, all good from the legal standpoint.
Thank you, Marion. Any questions from council for our city attorney? Mr. Wardle, the floor is yours, sir, if you'd like to make any comments.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good. Well, we appreciate your time. As Mr. Mayor indicated, I'm Jeff Wardle. My address is 215 East Pond in Boise. Counsel for BVA Development and the now owner of this property, BVA North Ranch LLC. As we have worked with your staff and as we worked with the former owner, St. Luke's, of this property, we have developed a plan for a true public-private partnership for commercial and industrial development at this site. And so as we went through that process with your staff and also with St. Luke's, due to St. Luke's ongoing limited interest in the property, we have drafted this development agreement that both St. Luke's and BVA North Ranch will be parties to, as well as the city and the urban renewal agency. As the mayor indicated, this is, as you know, 114 acres located at the intersection of Steve Parkway and Highway 2026. It has been, I think, it's the subject of much anticipation over the years of what can be done with it because it is a significant piece of property. Your staff has been working closely with BVA's team And we will be coming forward with a development application very shortly, to annex the property into the city and have it zoned to permit commercial and industrial development. Obviously, because of current health and safety issues and concerns, we had tapped the brakes a little bit on when we would schedule and hold our neighborhood meeting. But those notices have gone out for a virtual neighborhood meeting, and we will be having that shortly with the application coming forward. So this is just the first step. We recognize that your engineering team and the Urban Renewal Agency and our client's team have all been working on this. The intention will be to extend certain public utilities and public facilities through the site within rights of way that will be dedicated to the city in conjunction with that. And I assume that's Brent who's got the cursor there, but it will extend that roadway east across the property to Smead Parkway, extending utilities through that location, and then we'll provide 2 additional connections down at the existing rights of way down there. We are excited about the site because it affords us the opportunity to leverage some of the commercial uses that we've been doing other developments for in the Treasure Valley at this location. I've already been working on purchase and sale agreements with some of those users, and that will be coming forward. Obviously, this will be back in front of you again, because we're gonna have to plat it after we annex it and we zone it. So tonight, before you, isn't the development plans, just the development agreement to go ahead, get work started and pursue and follow through with the agreements necessary to undertake those rights of way and utility improvements. So we would appreciate your support. Once again, I always enjoy working with Mr. Hilty. It's a good opportunity. Anytime I can do stuff with Mark, because we just move things forward. So we appreciate your cooperation and support and request your approval of the development.
Thank you, Mr. Wardle. Any questions from council? Again, I would like to thank you, Mr. Wardle, and certainly thank Ball Ventures Alquist and St. Luke's for their interest in the city of Caldwell and willingness to invest in our community. We know that this will be a wonderful project. Anything that Ball Ventures Alquist is involved in is a wonderful project, and we look forward to what it will mean to this community for decades and decades to come. I want to personally thank your work on this as well, Mr. Wardle. It takes both sides to get something like this moving forward, and we know that you and Mark have done it very timely, and also make sure that the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. We appreciate your expertise. If there's no further questions, I would ask council then to consider Resolution 11020, authorizing the execution of the development agreement, declaration of covenants, and public improvements exhibit with St. Luke's Regional Medical Center Limited and Ball Venture North Ranch LLC.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Carlson.
I would move that we accept resolution number 110-20 and for its approval.
Thank you. We have a motion by Mr. Carlson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, was that Mr. McGee or Mr. Elgin?
Yes.
Mr. McGee? Okay, motion by Mr. Carlson, second by Mr. McGee to approve resolution number 11020, authorizing the execution of the development agreement, declaration of covenants, and public improvements exhibit with St. Luke's Regional Medical Center Limited and BVA North Ranch LLC. Will the clerk call the roll, please?
Carlson,
Yes.
Pollard,
Yes.
McGee,
Yes.
Algood, Algood,
You're muted, Chris.
Wagner,
Try that. Chris, you're on mute now.
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Algood.
Yes.
All right, I believe it was unanimous. The resolution 11020 has been approved unanimously by the Caldwell City Council. Again, we are really excited about the potential there. This is also a good sign that the development community still believes in what we're doing, even amid the uncertainty out there in the world, but we know that this, again, is a very worthwhile project, and we look forward to it as it develops forward. Thank you, Mr. Wardle, and please express our appreciation and gratitude for those who have chosen Caldwell to invest in. Thank you. All right, that completes item number 2, moves us to item number 3, which is council's declaration that certain property located generally along the west side of I-84 between exits 26 and 27 is underutilized for public purposes, and the Caldwell City Council intends to exchange it for other property owned by Two Bridges Associates LP that will provide a better alignment for Chicago Street north of the West Canyon Canal. Mr. Orton.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, thank you. I'll just give a quick summary, and then it should be known that Mr. Wardle, who is with us, is the legal counsel for Mr. Caldwell, who owns the Two Bridges LLC, and he may be able to provide some comments as well. The brief on this, allow me to change the image here. When this project, when the interstate project came through, right-of-way was obtained possibly, I don't know this as a fact, but possibly for a frontage road, but there was a lot of right-of-way required next to this interchange, and you'll recognize this is the interchange to Highway 2026, which is interchange 26. This property was owned by a gentleman, the Caldwell gentleman, who held it for many years. It was purchased by Mr. Ted Caldwell and is now held by his company, Two Bridges LLC. He actually built 2 bridges, so there's abutments for bridges right here, and I'll zoom in on those, and here. And so this is good because it allows, those bridges are meant to accommodate the city's master plan alignment of Chicago Street. The city approached Idaho Transportation Department about 2 years ago and said, hey, you've got all this right-of-way here. It would be better for us to be able to put that to work in this parcel and put Chicago Street in it. Our original intention was that we maybe would snake Chicago over here and run it along the side of this, to provide access to this property. The idea arose to instead exchange this right-of-way, and actually it's not right-of-way. As you look here at the assessor's office has not identified it as an ownerless parcel, but rather, as it would for right-of-way, but rather as property owned by the city of Caldwell. ITD, when they release property like that, they generally have a constraint, and they did that, but they later amended that. The Idaho Transportation Board amended their transfer of this to the city of Caldwell to delete any constraints on Caldwell's use of it. So that opens up for an allowance to make an exchange of property. So like other city properties, if we were just gonna give this or something, we couldn't do that, we'd have to declare it surplus, and auction it. But we are allowed to exchange property for property that is a better value or a better, use for the city, apparently. And so, that's what Mark told me. Mayor can speak to that too. But, so the idea here is that we would exchange for right-of-way for an alignment of Chicago that would be through the middle of the property, allowing development to happen on both sides of it and a much more efficient use of a road. So Public Works, Engineering, we've been involved in this and think this is an appropriate move. The action before you is not the end, it's basically just a resolution to express the council's intention, if it is your intention, to pursue this. There's some details to work out, such as, is it foot per foot? The values need to be approximately equal for an exchange to happen. So Mark's office is working through the details on that with support as requested, as they requested from Public Works and Engineering. So with that, I'll stand for your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Orton. Any questions from council? Or Mr. Wardle, is there anything you'd like to add?
Mr. Mayor, I think Mr. Orton did an excellent job of describing that this really is just the first step. It's, you know, my client has significant holdings up here in this vicinity and recognizes the benefit to everyone with this connection, and the most appropriate connection, you know, should be engineered and designed. We've already made significant investments here to the northwest and have other properties. So the full alignment, 99.9% 100% of this will be on property that is either owned by Two Bridges or by other companies owned by my client. As Mr. Horton said, there is significant work that we still have to do, but this is a good first step, and we would ask for support.
Thank you. Any questions from council for either Mr. Horton or Mr. Wardle?
Mr. Mayor,
Sir, Mr. Carlson?
is there enough property there that is worthwhile for a even exchange with the city of Caldwell versus just getting the street through?
I'll let Mr. Horton answer that, but I believe the answer to that is yes. Yeah, Mr. Horton?
Yes, Mr. Mayor is correct. It is, Councilman Carlson, it is, there's enough property to balance out the right-of-way would be needed for the road. And in fact, there is a little overlap. Right here, as you can see, the bridge here, you can imagine a road coming and making an appropriate turn. There'll be a little overlap here, so that property can just stay city and be designated as right-of-way, or we'll work out the details on it. It might be easier just to make a clean sweep of it, and it's probably immaterial at the end of the day, exactly how that goes down. But with the council's expression of intent, if you approve this resolution, the next step would be, we will work out the details between Mark's office and Mr. Wardle's office, and then it would come back before you for a hearing to effect that transfer, that exchange.
So Dennis and council, for the purposes of tonight, what we just need is a motion, if you see fit, of council to declare that certain property located generally along the west side of I-84 between exits 26 and 27 as underutilized. And then they will come back and bring us a document that shows the exact configuration with maps, with exhibits that show meets and bounds of the properties that would be exchanged so that you can further approve that. But tonight is just the intent to move forward with that so that they can prepare the documents. We have to declare the property underutilized first, and then they'll bring the documents back that show you exactly. So, Dennis, that will answer your question completely, that there is enough property on, to make this transaction feasible.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. Any other questions? Yes, Mr. Hopper.
I would move that we declare, the property described tonight as generally underutilized for public purposes, and, prepare documents for possible exchange for transportation improvement.
Thank you, Mr. Hopper. There's a motion to declare the property as described underutilized for public purposes and the intent to exchange it for other property, for transportation purposes. Is there a second to Mr. Hopper's motion?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Carlson. A second. Any further discussion from council?
Mr. Mayor, I just want to add that not only is this really important as a key part of the transportation grid that we intended for this area, it's also very crucial to creating the kind of connectivity we need in order to potentially create an urban rural area and assist the development of the area. So I think this is a key stone to making all of that happen.
Thank you, Mr. Hopper. Any other comments or questions? And by the way, I agree, Mr. Hopper, thank you for your comment. That was...
Mr. Mayor?
Yes. Who? Is that Mr. Wagner?
It was Jeremy here, yeah, just to echo those, and I know, yes it is, yep. And I've been working, when I was a planner, with Brent and with Rob, we've been working on this for years, literally, to help this development. So it's great to see things start moving in the direction, so yeah, it's a great thing.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner, for your comments. Any other comments or questions? All right, there's a motion.
Mayor.
Yes, Mr. Carlson.
Will we have an opportunity to resubmit to Canyon County for a urban renewal district by the time this gets ready?
I don't know for sure, Mr. Carlson. We at this stage of the game have regrouped as the economic development team and as urban renewal to take a look at the possibility of maybe creating one through annexation or slightly different boundaries. But the answer to your question ultimately is yes, it could be resubmitted in its current form, but we would have to do new project costs. We would have to do a feasibility study. It would change because that was based upon the configuration and the time and projects we assumed at that time. So in order for us to move anything forward, basically, we would have to redo that piece of it, whether it's through annexation or a request back to the Canyon County Commissioners. But yes, it can be done, it could be done. Mr. Orton?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would just throw in one more comment too, that the nature of this, action from start to finish could easily be completed in the early half of this year, maybe even, within the next few council meetings, if we can all cobble together the time to finish it off. So it should be a pretty easy action to pursue. And the other thing I wanted to point out, if you don't mind, is
Please.
that Mr. Caldwell, he built those bridge abutments at his own expense for Chicago Street, where we said we wanted bridges across. So he has been a good partner.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Would the clerk call the roll, please?
Hopper. Hopper.
Oops, yeah, sorry.
Paulson.
Yes.
Pollard.
Yes.
McGee.
Yes.
Allgood.
Yes.
Wagner.
Yes.
Thank you very much. The motion to declare certain property located generally along the west side of I-84 between 26 and 27 is underutilized, and the intent to exchange for transportation purposes has been unanimously passed by the Caldwell City Council. Thank you very much. Financial report, who's doing that this evening? Mr. Allgood.
Mr. Mayor, the Finance Committee has reviewed current accounts payable in the amount of $1,862,987.30 for the period ending April 15, 2020. A net payroll of $465,123.08 for pay period ending March 28, 2020. I move that accounts payable in the amount of $1,862,987.30 represented by check numbers 145023 through 145301, and payroll for the amount of $465,123.08 represented by check numbers 34427 through 34537, and direct deposits be accepted, payments approved, and vouchers filed in the office of the city clerk.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second. A motion by Mr. Allgood, second by Mr. Pollard, to approve the financial report as presented. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Are there any other ayes? I heard a few, but I think it's unanimous. Any opposed?
Yeah, I'm on.
Okay, any opposed, nay? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Mr. Pollard, council reports.
The only thing I want to say, Mr. Mayor, is my appreciation to you for keeping us all updated, with the various, agencies', emails regarding COVID-19. I appreciate your willingness to keep us in the cycle.
You're very welcome, Mike. I wish there weren't as many as there are. But things do seem to change, and there's a lot of folks really working hard to try to make sure that we're all informed, so thank you for that, Mike. Mr. Carlson.
Nothing tonight.
Mr. Hopper.
Nothing for me, sir.
Mr. Wagoner.
No report here as well.
Thank you. Mr. Allgood.
Nothing for me, sir.
Mr. McGee.
I would be crazy to give a report after that, Mr. Mayor, so I'm going to, just echo what, Mr. Pollard said. Thank you for keeping us in the loop.
You're very welcome, and I apologize if there's, anything that I haven't kept you in the loop on. I do apologize. We're trying hard. Real quickly, I apologize. There are a couple things I do need just to bring you up to speed, as you noticed. And again, I apologize. I think I got a hold of everybody except for Mr. Wagoner, and I do apologize. I tried, but I wasn't able to reach you. But as you know, we opened the golf courses on a kind of sort of basis last Friday morning. One person per cart. The clubhouse was not open. There was no restaurant or pro shop open. We did ask them to make sure that they maintained the social distancing order. We did bring in one marshal. I believe Larry Silver was brought in just to assist and make sure that folks were honoring that. And from all reports, everything went really well. And we did only open the back 9. because there's still work being done on holes 1, 2, 3, on asphalt. We're redoing those pathways, that are there, that are in desperate need. And of course, we moved that maintenance up during the closure so that we wouldn't have to affect the golf course, as much as we could have. Both punching the greens and sanding the greens would normally be starting right now. Well, it's already done and the greens are healed. So that saved, probably 14 to 16 or 17 days of not being able to golf. And then we did start the pathways immediately after the closure. And the street department has generously reorganized their time to go out and do that, so we're minimizing the effect to the golfers as much as possible. So thank you all for your patience during that. As you know, we are still under the stay-at-home order from the governor, so city buildings are still closed. We are open for business, and from there, all indications, we are taking care of the public as best that we possibly can. I don't know that I've received very many concerns or complaints from the public. I think they understand. I think they understand what we're trying to accomplish. Again, we will keep you up to speed on all of the changes. I would like to just comment on one thing, as has been said by all the health officials, that the key to getting us back out in the public is, there's 2 or 3 things, but they're all health related. One is testing. And the second thing is to have some sort of tracking of those who have been exposed, so that we know where the exposure and those who have been affected with COVID-19, we know where it came from. The third thing, of course, is to develop some sort of therapeutic approach so that people who do get it can be treated. And then, of course, the fourth thing is the vaccination. I have good news to report on the first 2 things. Through Ball Ventures, Allquist, and some of the partners through Salzer and other medical facilities, they have started a program called Crush the Curve. Thank you, Brent. They have started testing thousands of people in the valley. They have testing stations set up at several locations throughout the valley. These are all medical locations and or locations that are not trying to compete with anybody. They're just trying to assist in the process. There is no fee for that. If the insurance pays for it, great. If the insurance doesn't, then there's no fee to the people that are getting tested. From 2 aspects, both the COVID-19 test, but also the test for immunity. And again, I don't remember the name of the test. Brent, do you remember? I'm sorry, but they're testing your immune system. Antibodies, thank you. Thank you, Councilmember McGee. It's an antibody test, and that is also starting. It's in partnership with Idaho, the University of Washington, another testing center, I don't remember where, on another part of the world. It's supposed to take only 2 or 3 days to get the results back, in partnership with the local health officials, both state health officials as well as our health providers. And that is a big thing to getting the economy back up and rolling and people the confidence to get out of their homes and know that they can be safe. In the meantime, we still are encouraging folks to respect the stay-at-home order, to not travel unnecessarily. If you do go out in public, please cover your cough. If you have a mask to wear, that's encouraged. If you wash your hands regularly, maybe not as often as Brent does, but regularly. I now discovered why there's a shortage of hand sanitizer after spending 2 or 3 meetings with Mr. Orton. He went through 1.5 gallons in just one budget session, so I'm not sure. No, that's he does keep his hands clean. He's doing his part. But anyway, that's pretty kind of the update. I do know that there are businesses out there who are hurting, and our heart goes out to them. I've been on the phone with several of them, trying to help them. We've been trying to get them contacted with the appropriate officials to ask them questions. I know that the banking community has been really active in helping businesses with the CARES Act, getting those applications in. I do know the first round of money is gone. There were well over 300,000 applications in just the first short period of time, and $250 billion was loaned and or given to those who made applications in a very timely manner. Of course, there's always complications and concerns, but for the most part, it seems to have worked. I did see tonight that they're close to another 400 billion or something like that for the same program. And so hopefully our businesses that are hurting will be able to take advantage of that. I really hope that they can get that through. Again, to council members, thank you for everything you're doing. Your leadership through this and helping us deal with this is so much appreciated. Our staff and city personnel are working hard. Many are working from home, but they're still working hard. I can assure you that. There's accountability. We know that the job is getting done. We're still serving the public. Our treatment plant and water system and everything is actively running, and we are taking care of their needs. Our police department has reported that the overall calls are down, but there are a few more domestic violence type calls and along those lines that we could expect. So that's my quick report to you. Again, I will go over the reports. I send you those reports daily, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, weekends, Saturdays, Sundays, 12 o'clock on Sunday night. If I can't sleep, I'm sending out updates. So I just want to thank the members of our community, those first line workers who are still out there keeping grocery stores open, and auto parts and car mechanics, and I mean, the list goes on. I can't name them all, but those who are making sure that our essential needs are taken care of. We want to thank the patience and dedication of those business owners who are affected by the shutdown, and know that you are in our thoughts and prayers for a quick recovery, that we can get through this, and that you'll be able to recover from this difficult time. I want to thank the city employees for their dedication and support going through this, and I would just encourage you, if you could, if that's your thing, to pray. There's a couple ways to get through this, and that's dedication and hard work by all of us, but I think we need an extra hand in all of this, getting control of the virus, finding a therapeutic, finding a vaccination, helping those who are sick. There's never a better time, I don't think, to ask for some divine intervention than now. So with that, I would stand for any questions. Any questions from council members?
Mr. Mayor,
Sir.
not a question, I just wanted to let you know, Sunday I drove through, the golf course there on 10th, and, we had 2 people in like 4 or 5 cars.
Okay.
So they may be doing it at the clubhouse, but they're not doing it out further in the golf course.
Okay. I will let the folks down at Fairview know that, to reinforce that. And again, this is a chance for them to follow the rules and regulations, and we're trying to be kind and generous, but I guess if they either refuse or don't want to, then we'll have to make changes. But maybe not allowing any carts on the course, but city carts, and making sure that there's only one person in the cart, or just going to walking, one or the other. But we'll take a look at it and see, but thank you, Mr. Carlson. We'll get a response from both pros and see what their thoughts are. Thank you. Any other comments or questions? All right, hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, I heard a motion and several seconds, so I guess with that, I can just say we are adjourned. Thank you very much, appreciate it very, very much, and stay safe and healthy. Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone.
Eric, one thing, if there's 2 people in the car, it's possibly people in the same family.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that's what I'm taking a look at, and that's okay.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.